I keep saying that I need a job like I'm not already doing 20 of them. The problem is that none of them have taken responsibility for my payroll. I don't need more work. I need one of the jobs that I already have to start paying me. So on that note, today's video is sponsored by me. Yeah, the check is in the mail, but I wrote it myself, so don't get excited because it's gonna bounce. I was laid off 2.5 years ago. I'm 55 and I can't get hired. I send out about 10 to 20 resumes every day to anyone, anywhere that appears willing to exchange American currency for labor. I get nothing. So I diversified. I created income streams. I built my own opportunities. I now have an impressive collection of jobs that pay like hobbies. And I know my list probably looks different than yours. Maybe you have a job that still doesn't pay the bills. Maybe it's one client who always pays late, or there's a parent that you're taking care of for free, or a job hunt that eats 40 hours a week and still calls you unemployed. Maybe you took the only job that you can find and it pays like it knows it. It's a different list, but the same problem. You're working all day, the money still isn't there, and somehow you think that said something about you. And here's the part that actually messes with you. You're doing all of it all day, and you still catch yourself thinking that you're lazy. Like the problem is that you didn't try hard enough. Remember that, because it's a lie, and I'm going to show you who taught it to you. If you're new here, I'm Sheila. I am not a coach. I am not a guru. I am just your 55-year-old internet auntie who got laid off, built a gazillion jobs out of spite and panic, and still can't get one of them to pay her. Welcome. Now, I've been talking a lot lately about the old rules in our lives that are still making our decisions. And this whole mess that I've got going on here has one rule running straight through it. If you need more money, work harder. If nobody will hire you, create your own opportunities. You've heard it too. Probably said it to yourself. Can't find work? Start something. Not making enough? Add another thing. Nobody's coming to save you, so go build your own boat. We all nodded along like it was wisdom. I know I did. I applied harder. I learned new things. I started building my own ways to make money. That's how I ended up with more work than I've ever had in my life and no dependable paycheck. And underneath that was another rule that I believed. If I'm working hard enough and the work is good enough, the money will follow. You believe that one right up until you don't. Then you just assume that the problem is you. I have followed that rule so faithfully that I can work from morning until night, look at what came into the bank account and decide that I must have not done enough, or I'm doing it wrong, or I'm too late, or I'm not enough, or I'm too much. The part I missed was that every solution to the money problem came with a bill of its own. Now, I'll come back to that. Most days I'm at this computer from about 7 in the morning till about 5 or 6 at night, and what I'm doing changes constantly. Now, a lot of you have asked me if I'm still job hunting, and yes, I am. I usually start my day with job hunting where, I adjust the resume, fill in the same information that's already on the resume, and then answer some personality quiz designed to determine whether or not I would steal a stapler if the building was on fire. I have had no interviews since my last update, no phone calls. I don't even get rejection emails anymore. I think that I've become too invisible to reject. And before somebody tells me to just get any job, I'm applying for any job. A lot of us are. If you're doing this too, you know the job hunt itself is an unpaid job. You can spend half the day proving that you're willing to work and end it with no proof that a human being ever saw your name. Then I moved to the jobs that I built myself. Now, YouTube is the biggest one. What looks like making a video includes answering comments, mining them for future ideas, researching topics, and spending days, sometimes weeks, writing scripts. A lot of those scripts never make it this far. The ones that do have to be good enough so that you'll still want to keep watching after YouTube interrupts me with a 15-second commercial about an air fryer. Now, here's a shameless plug, but I'm really proud of this. I recently created my first workshop for this community called Adult Tech Support: Why You Feel Stuck and Why It's Not What You Think. It's about why you can know something needs to change and still feel completely stuck. It's only 90 minutes long, but developing the material, the registration, email, Zoom setup, and private group took weeks, but it's worth it. Now I'm trying to promote it because I know it can help people, but I also know how truly annoying it is when you're deep into a video and bam, you're in a sales pitch. So that's a fun little line to walk. I research sponsors, build pitches, and follow up with people who may or may not even exist. At the same time, I handle calls and marketing for a plumbing company that my husband Doug and I are trying to build. including explaining why a licensed master plumber costs more than a man named Randy who owns one wrench and communicates exclusively through Facebook Marketplace. And again, your list could be different, but I guarantee you that you know the job underneath all the others, constantly thinking about what else you could do for money. That job never closes. Now, I'm not telling you this so that you'll all clap for me, right? I'm telling you this because after doing all of it, I still say I'm unemployed because there's no solid paycheck. Now, by dinner, I have been a statistician, a script writer, a video editor, a design engineer, a Zoom wrangler, a website mechanic, a plumbing dispatcher, and a sponsor hunter. Every department has filed a complaint, and management has serious concerns about my attitude. Management is also me. Every one of those things is a job that I had no idea how to do 2.5 years ago. So when I hear that workers over 50 are slow, inflexible, and can't learn new things, I have one very thoughtful response. Fuck that. The learning was never the hard part. The hard part is the number that's waiting for me at the end of the month. And that number is a real bitch. I know what I do matters because you tell me all the time. I know our community is real. I know the workshop can help people. None of that becomes worthless because I didn't produce a pile of money. But right now, YouTube is bringing in about $200 a month. Now, I was up to almost $2,000, but ad rates and views have dropped and my channel isn't big enough to absorb it. Now, I'm grateful for the $200, but I also can't pay the mortgage in gratitude. And if you're doing work that matters, but it still isn't paying you enough, you know how fast a money problem starts feeling like a verdict on you. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I waited too long. Maybe I'm working on the wrong things. Maybe I'm just not as capable as I thought that I was. Yeah, that's when I start feeling like a loser. Not because I'm doing nothing. I just haven't figured out how to turn all of this work into enough money fast enough. Now, I know one of you is nodding along right now to this, and if that's you, tell me about it in the comments. What does your version look like? What are you working on all day that still hasn't turned into a dependable income? My husband Doug works his ass off, and his work ends with a paycheck. Mine usually ends with me sending something out into the world and hoping a video might earn money or that a brand might answer, hoping my workshop will sell, the community might grow, the plumbing ads might bring in a new customer. Everything is a might, maybe someday, right? If your income works like that too, you know the problem. The work is happening now, but the money is always somewhere in the future. The bills live in the present. I sold my motorcycle several months ago, and I've been using that money to keep contributing to our bills. I have maybe 2 months of it left. After that, there's really nothing else for me to sell. Well, there's Posy, but she's a potato with legs, and the market for that is pretty soft. Also, Doug doesn't want my organs to leave my body. I asked. I know how this sounds. Doug has a paycheck, so what am I worried about? Well, I'm worried because we built this life on 2 incomes and mine disappeared. I'm still trying to carry my part. I'm telling you this because that money running out is a deadline for me, and deadlines change the way I work. Every idea starts looking urgent because any one of them could be the thing that finally pays. Which is how I end up at 1 a.m. convinced that the thing standing between me and paying the mortgage is the better thumbnail. Nothing says financial strategy like fighting for my life in Canva. I live with depression and anxiety, and I'm feeling good right now. I know that I need to protect that. I know I need to get away from this computer and take breaks, and most days I don't. Because even 20 minutes away from this computer feels like 20 minutes that I should be using to fix this. Now, if you've ever had more work than money, you know rest starts feeling financially irresponsible. And that part scares me a little. I know where pushing without stopping is going to take me because I've been there. And every time that deadline scares me, I respond the way that I was trained to respond. I create more work. I make another offer. I research another idea. I pitch another brand. I apply for another job. I build another possible source of income because we were taught that a money problem must be an effort problem. If the money isn't coming, work harder. If the idea isn't paying, improve it. If nobody will hire you, invent a job and hire yourself. I keep trying to solve the lack of money by giving myself more work. And some of those things may become real income. I'm not saying that they won't, but progress and income are not the same thing. I've been counting everything that I'm building as though it's already agreed to help with the mortgage. And it has not. It is not. So how are you supposed to know which thing to walk away from when the next yes could be hiding inside any one of them? Now, I know a lot of you are thinking about building other income streams because you've talked to me about it in our one-on-ones, or you've put it in the comments. Maybe you want to sell your art on Etsy. Maybe you want to sell your feet pics on Foot Finder. Maybe you want to have a YouTube channel of your own. Here's the part that nobody mentions when they tell you to build multiple streams of income, okay? At first, they aren't income streams. They're just unpaid jobs. Nobody pays you for the hours before the yes. The employer doesn't pay you to apply. The sponsor doesn't pay you to research the company and build the pitch. YouTube doesn't pay you for the week that you spent making a video if nobody watches it. All of that time, expense, and risk belongs to the person who already really needs the money. And yes, I chose this, but the choice wasn't between doing this and taking a nice, secure job. That job wasn't on the table anymore. The choice was between building something myself and waiting for a job market that had stopped returning my calls. Now, I'm not saying anybody owes me money because I built something. I'm saying every opportunity people tell you to create starts with a lot of work that nobody has agreed to pay for yet. Now, I remember hearing a story like in junior high or high school about some fire in a Vegas casino where people were burned to their seats with their hands, still on the slot machines. Do you remember that? It haunts me, that story. I think that most of that story was like urban legend, but it's really stuck with me. Some days it feels like I'm that person sitting at the slot machine. I know I need to get up, but what if the next pull is the one that changes everything? What if I stop working on the thing that was about to pay? What if I take a break right before the yes finally comes? That's how I keep all those jobs alive. It isn't because I had some grand entrepreneurial vision of becoming a midlife conglomerate. I'm trying to survive. Doing something feels better than waiting for somebody to choose me again. But the promise was that more work would create more security. Honestly, sometimes more work just creates more work. I'm saying this out loud because somebody else is working this hard in private and still calling themselves lazy because they don't have a real job. If that's you, I want you to know that I see you. I do. And yeah, if you want in, I do one-on-ones, workbooks, a membership, and a Substack where the behind-the-scenes talk lives. Links for all of that are in my description. I'm aware of the irony running an ad inside my video about my stuff not paying me. So just consider all of this a live demonstration. Here's the part that keeps me up at night, though. Even if one of these jobs turned around tomorrow and started cutting me a real check, I'm not sure I'd believe that I earned it. I'd find a way to call it luck or a fluke or somebody feeling sorry for the old lady on the internet. Now, every week I show up here and talk about the midlife stuff that nobody warned us about: work, money, mental health, starting over. If that sounds like your kind of place, hit subscribe. I'd love to have you here. Because it turns out that the bank account isn't the only thing in here grading me. There's another judge, and that one doesn't give a damn how much money shows up. It only wants to know one thing: who said that I was allowed to do any of this? And when I finally figured out who taught me to keep asking that question, I got real quiet. And then I got pissed. Let's talk about that here.